So I am back from Houston. I recorded quite a bit of video. I've been putting it together the last few days, but I wanted to kind of go over some stuff that I forgot to mention. So we left on Thursday. We drove down to Burbank. So we are on our way to Burbank Airport. We got Deanna driving. We got the little one back here, the monkey.
Not so little one.
Yeah, he's not so little. He's gonna be bigger than me soon. So we prefer Burbank over LAX because it's only a half hour away. It's a pretty small airport, so you can get to your gate pretty easy. And anytime I can avoid driving on the 405, I'm going to do that. So, so even if it's a few extra bucks, we'll usually go out of Burbank, and we parked the car down there, and it was actually cheaper than doing a Lyft, which we will do sometimes. And then from Phoenix to Houston, we had what was supposed to be, I think, an hour layover. Ended up being more like 2.5 hours because our flight got delayed because of winter storms or something.
You need to take your stuff off.
Alright, hopefully I get my own robe. We'll see. The other flight sucked. Put my feet up, stretch, had the whole row to myself. Deanna and Jonan were behind me. So they got a window seat, and Deanna was in the aisle, so it was pretty cool. So we got into Houston about 1 a.m. their time. So it's about 1 a.m. in Houston. When we landed, it was rainy. It's a little humid right now. Clearly it's been raining. My bag when I got it was a little wet. I don't know what's going on. The taxi driver's taking a while. You gonna say hello?
Hello.
So if anyone's wondering why I like to travel with Deanna, this is how savvy she is. So she knows we're gonna fly in late. So she doesn't book, have us travel at 1 o'clock in the morning to downtown Houston to our hotel that we're gonna stay at. She picks right across the street, which you can see here. And then, I don't think you can see it, but she picks right next to the rental car place. So super savvy. This is why I'm lost without her. Our original plan was to rent a car. We had a little bit of snafu at the Enterprise rent-a-car, some confusion, whatever. So we made our way to the hotel. Figured maybe we just have them check our bags, and then we were gonna go do some stuff. And they hooked us up. Delson at the Houston Homewood Suites took great care of us, upgraded us from a king-size room to basically this monstrosity. So if you look around, this is why we prefer Homewood Suites, especially when you're traveling with a group or a family, because my running routine usually will take 2 hours or so. I gotta get coffee, I gotta do bathroom stuff, stretching, rolling, all that stuff. And obviously we have the full kitchen. You get the full fridge here. So we will usually order groceries from Instacart or something like that. But you got this huge space in here. I mean, it's just gigantic. So what happens is, I'm gonna get up at whatever o'clock in the morning, and I can close this door, and these guys can still sleep. This bathroom is silly. So yeah, we're pretty happy about this and the location. Minute Maid Arena or Stadium or whatever it's called. And yeah, so I guess the Enterprise snafu actually worked in our favor. So we're here at McDonald's. We're supposed to go on a tunnel tour.
Yeah, tunnel tour.
So I don't know if it's like a video game. There's a secret passage that we have to go through, and that's why we're meeting at the McDonald's.
Has been here before? Is this your first time?
I came for a friend's family reunion, but I didn't really do any
to see
exploring.
the city much?
Yeah.
So we are the 4th most populated city. We're currently at 2.3 million. And the U.S. Census is saying by 2025 we're actually going to overtake Chicago. They're predicting nearly 3 million people living in Houston. So we're going to become the 3rd most populated city. I always say Depending on who you ask in the city in Houston, that's a good thing. Depending on who you ask, that's a bad thing. Probably for business purposes, for real estate, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting around, mobility, commuting, we definitely need to kind of improve our infrastructure.
There is a bunch of tunnels under Houston, and they're like sidewalks. It looks like a mall under there. You know, you got like food courts, and they connect all the major buildings. I mean, you see us go in through the Hyatt. It goes down, and you could go to other hotels, you could go to other banks, you could go to other business buildings, and this is pretty neat. Houston does get pretty hot in the summer and humid, so this is a way to like beat the heat and stay out of it, and it's pretty neat. You know, if you're visiting Houston and you look for something on Yelp or something and it says that you know, you can't find it, you're there but you can't find it, it's probably underground. So that was pretty neat. All right, so we just finished the underground tour. We're going to the expo now. So Houston really does a good job of organizing their just everything. Everything is just top notch. It's well put together. Let's see. All right, so I'll go like this for right now so you guys can see. We got the Michelob Ultra thing, which is pretty cool, and they just waved at me, and I got my pure gold here, which is quite amazing. If I can find my way out of here. Ah, here we go. Here's the elevators. All right, so I'm up early here, heading to the 5K in the elevator. On my way down, gonna be going to heading to Discovery Park here. Let's see. Ooh. See how cold it is. This thing's supposed to only be 69 outside, but I think I know which way I need to go. So I had to turn you guys off. I don't want you to watch bore you with me trying to figure out if I'm going in the right direction. I did a story on my Instagram that said, should I run the 5K for PR or for fun? And 85% said fun. So I was already pretty much there. That was pretty much what I was going to do anyways, but I just thought it was funny that like 85% of people are like, you didn't go to Houston to run a 5K, bro. So, I mean, how tragic would this trip be if you know, I injure myself because I went hard on the 5K, you know, and then I couldn't run the marathon, or I run it very poorly, you know. We're not running Houston Marathon for fun, you know. We're running this to qualify for Boston. So and then let's see. Oh yeah, then I went back, showered, got dressed, and then at about 11 to 2 I worked the expo. So many of you guys probably might have seen my all the stories I was putting up of the various stuff that was going on at the expo. Met up with Paul, who's now Megatran Runs. So yeah, I met him on my way to the ambassador photo shoot, which was fun. Finally got to really meet everyone. 5:50 in the morning. We're about an hour and 10 minutes out. I'm just waiting for breakfast to open, which is at 6. I've stretched, body glide. So yeah, I'm gonna eat real quick, come back up, get my stuff, not checking a bag. Deanna's gonna meet me at the finish line with my stuff. So ready to go, I guess. Ready or not, here we come, right? All right. It's a Monday morning. I'm here at Discovery Park, where all the activities for the marathon happened yesterday. Just wanted to give a basic recap, what happened, race strategy and stuff. So if you haven't paid attention to my Instagram, I did Boston qualify for the first time. So I'm super jacked about that. I was a mess afterwards. I was crying. I feel like it's the first time I've ran a complete marathon. This is my 5th marathon. the other 4 marathons, there's always been a point where I have basically ran out of gas, or I've like I slowed down significantly. This one, I did slow down a tiny bit, but I ran my first 5K and my last 5K at the exact same pace. You know, this time I was extremely stubborn about sticking with my pace team, and I went 3:05, and I knew that the battle for this, you know, for qualifying for Boston was starting at mile 20. So as soon as I hit the, you know, mile 20 mark, I was locked in, and you know, I'm like, this is where it's done. Like, this is where I'm either gonna Boston qualify or not. So I gotta do this right. And so, you know, once we got to mile 20, I basically just ran it each mile that I was in. So I was just like, stick with these guys until 21. Okay, then when I got to 21, I was like, okay, stick with them till 22. Okay, stick with them till 23. You know, 24. And during mile 24 is where I kind of lost them a little bit. It wasn't too bad though. I mean, I could still see them. It's not like they dusted me. They were too, you know, I was 2 minutes slower. I was probably 20 seconds slower. So, you know, in the end, I started with the 3:05 pace team. I ended up with 3:05 34, so 34 seconds slower than. So perfect. So I did have one snafu, and this is I wanted to talk to you guys about this because so mile 1, you know, it's early. I'm still like getting used to everything. I turn off auto lap. It's something I started to do in New York, because once you're around skyscrapers, GPS just becomes really unreliable. The GPS signal bounces off the building, so I turn off the auto lap and just do lap buttons as I hit the thing, so I know what my pace is. Only problem is I pressed the stop button instead of the auto lap, and this happened very early, and you know, it was one of those things where I'm like, I came all the way to Houston, I'm running this, I'm not going to allow this air to mess me up. So I became extremely reliant on running the lap that I was in, and I'm better for it. I'm actually better for this happening. I became really reliant on my pace team, and you know, like running with them and sticking with them, and our pace was either, you know, it would be like 6:58 or, you know, 7:02. For the most part, we kept it pretty solid, pretty tight. They started slow. It was more of a conservative pace team, so worked out perfect. Things that I did different, obviously I had the Gatorade with the caffeine, so caffeine was a big part of giving me a little bit of extra boost, a little energy. So that worked out well. Nutrition plan worked out perfect. I took only one alt red. I took 3 prior to the race, 2 hours, 1 hour, and when it started, and then I took one at the 1 hour mark. Only problem was when I pulled it out of my belt, or the other one came with it, and I lost it. So, and then a huge thing that changed is I used the GO2 device for the first time in a race. I had been training with it for probably a week before. Took a little getting used to, and it's the science behind it is basically you breathe in normal, and it gives a slight resistance on the out. This activates the lungs, helps you conserve. It's supposed to lower your heart rate. It's supposed to once your brain and you get used to it and it syncs with it, it's supposed to increase your VDOT by up to 6%. So that could actually be like 2 points. So yeah, I used that. I'll probably have some pictures that I can show you. They're probably on the screen right now. We didn't have a layover on our way back. We flew from Houston, landed in Burbank. It was a full flight. Yeah, so amazing experience. Houston is very much recommended.